podcast.
Welcome everybody to the Determined podcast. My name is Pasta Guy, and
there's no audio.
Hang on. Let me just.
Oh, there is audio. Never mind.
All right, you guys can hear me, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Good. Anyways, welcome everybody to the Determined podcast. My name is Pasta Guy, or well, as the name implies, Spooky Guy, because well, it's the spooky season, and I gotta take part at least a little bit. And with me here today, as always, is Demophone.
Hello.
Cupcake will also be joining us later, but she is currently indisposed. Probably be here with us before about 4:30. And here with us today is insanely ADD.
Boy.
Lynx Griffin.
Hello.
Time Clone Mike.
Bonjour.
And the Gibbous / Spamton VA. What the flip?
Sounds just like him.
Yeah.
Who is currently using a voice modifier to talk like the character that we're going to be discussing today, which is Spamton. Spamton G. Spamton, the very popular character from Deltarune Chapter 2. Yeah.
Mr.
The shady
Big Shot Tumblr Sexy Man.
Yeah. He is the great Dealmaker, the great Big Shot, and just the weird white puppet thing. So yeah, we're gonna be discussing.
And the reason we're here.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing him. We have a whole bunch of questions based around that, and we have, of course, we'll be taking questions from the chat as well. So first off, get the ball rolling. First question is, what was everyone's first reaction to seeing Spamton?
Dear God.
Immediate distrust.
I was afraid of him, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, ew, what a weird little guy.
I was really unsettled because he was speaking with real words, and I was like, that's not supposed to be allowed.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw him was, what the hell did I just walk in on? It felt like I'd taken a wrong turn, and I found a character that I'm not supposed to be talking to.
Even though it's very obviously you're supposed to just talk with him with Chris.
Yeah.
Isolate you on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he just freaking comes out of the... He just freaking comes out of the garbage and just talks to you about deals and speaks in a very, well, interesting way.
Aggressive.
Interesting. I think it's fabulous.
You can keep telling yourself that, Spamton. Yeah. Honestly, I think Spamton gives off the very good energy of what it's like to accidentally click on a spam email or those annoying pop-up ads. Just like, no, I didn't want to do that. Where am I going? Yeah. All right.
Wrapped in pure joy.
I erupted something, but it wasn't joy. Anyways, Next question is, what did everyone think of Spamton's general speaking style?
Very unique speech mannerisms.
Like Shodan from System Shock 2.
Uh,
I
yeah,
feel
I
like
was-
it's a very tough voice to get down. Like a lot of people tried, but the specifics of it are just so, I don't know, hard to pin down that it's impressive, I think, when people can accurately mimic it.
yeah.
I liked the way that it was portrayed in the Stupendium's song about Spamton. I thought he did a really good job with like the, kooky salesman kind of affectation while still having like this kind of deranged brokenness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a broken
Yeah.
sound card.
Yeah, it did often sound like he was like made of like glitches or something, like something was just clearly wrong with him.
I love the man. I will say, speaking of ad infinitum, that is still one of the songs I've been listening to for ages. Cupcake!
Hello.
Thanks,
Hey!
Cupcake.
It's the cute duck. I mean
As foretold in prophecy.
I mean, it's not the cute duck, it's the cute girl obsessed with ducks. It is not. She has never been and never has been a duck. This is.
Definitely not.
I am saying this of my complete free will, and there is not a waterfowl behind me with a gun.
water gun.
Water gun. Also, Cupcake, your mic sounds so great.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually poor time because Cupcakes it was supposed to get like a brand new mic like tomorrow.
I'm stupid.
No, I
You
did.
still sound very nice today. Have a
No.
nice time.
No, pasta. My microphone came like a couple days ago, and I took yesterday setting it up, so it's set up now.
Ah, okay.
So
Fun.
this new microphone, yay!
Yay! I'm a less stupid, still stupid, but a less stupid.
No,
Incorrect.
maybe no bonk.
I will say I turned off my voice mod because it sounded like I was interrupting things. So, hi, this is the
Yeah,
same voice I
you're-
use.
Yeah, the voice mod was like cutting out your speech a lot.
Yeah.
That was the actual intent.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a podcast. People are here for
Yeah,
like good
also
long term.
my internet is dying, so I'm
That
gonna be
doesn't
cutting out
help.
a lot. I'm
Yeah.
here though, and one of the first people in the Spamton shenaniganery. I was there for the first few months, and I've met a lot of the top people. I wanted to be here because it's one of my passion projects.
Mhm.
Valid.
So Cupcake, since you just came in, we've only gone through the first two questions, so I might as well ask
Okay.
you.
Cupcake knows my quote-unquote passion project coming in
I do.
December.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Uh,
I think
I-
I reblogged the last thing you did. I don't remember though.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'm
won-
making a musical.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm just
I think
wondering,
people in the
Cupcake.
chat are getting confused what's
What?
going on.
I'm just wondering, Cupcake, what was your reaction when you first met the little stinky puppet salesman?
I mean, you saw my reaction. We played it together. But at first I was like, "Oh, hi, new Jevil," and then once he started talking, I was like, "Oh, you're a new kind of gremlin. I kind of like you."
Yeah, it's always the gremlins that get the most popular in this community.
Like I didn't like him necessarily like for his character at first. I just liked him because I thought he was funny. He kept like every new line kept making me laugh, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that he sounds like my last dying brain cell.
I mean,
That's one way of putting it.
It's the accurate way of it.
Yeah.
Someone's asking in the chat if any of us watched the Delta cast that Dorkt was a guest on.
Yep, I watched the whole thing.
Yep, I watched the whole thing.
I actually
I've not
knew two
watched
of the
it
people
just
in that,
yet.
so of course.
Yeah, I also knew one of the people on that podcast, and that's Dork. They're my friend.
Yay!
Shout out to Dork who was
Yay for community.
yeah.
I didn't because I was out of the loop
It's fair.
and busy.
Shout out to Dork
Hours.
who apparently wanted to be here but was caught up with other things, which makes sense.
Pensive.
Yeah, she's got caught up with other things like like her job and creative aspirations and stuff. Ew. Anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I said that podcast was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good too, though I disagreed with some of the things in it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think a given with theorizing.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet personally. I remember that I was going to try it out. Like I was going to listen to it and probably leave like a cheeky little comment like you coming in on our turf, mate. But yeah, it just slipped my mind. I had a pretty busy weekend this weekend because it was fall break and I went back with my parents and stuff for the fall break. It was nice.
Nice. Yay.
Yeah.
And I
So,
also got my driver's license. Like took the test and stuff over the break.
Wow.
Congratulations.
And I thought,
Costa, you're an adult now? What?
you're an adult too. You're more an adult than me. You had a job. A job that apparently was soul crushing to you, but you still had a job.
That's how you know
So,
I'm an
Spamton.
adult.
So, yeah, let's
Yeah. Back on topic with Spamton.
Speaking of soul crushing.
Yeah, speaking of jobs that are soul crushing. All right, so
his gender is
Sales.
employee. Thank you, Mike.
what does all right, next question is what does everyone find most intriguing about his character?
The fact
that he's both. Ooh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the fact that he simultaneously doesn't make sense, but also makes enough sense that you can understand him. It's like a very
Very
fine
nice.
line that's walked with that.
I agree. He's like a personification of the evolution of language that happened on the internet in order to get around censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way he speaks and stuff is like it's like interesting, like that weird sort of like text speech that was popular in like the mid 2000s to early 2010s, which was like originally developed because of like texting limits and stuff on phones.
Ignore that.
What the flip?
Ignore what?
I forgot to turn my phone off. Anyone who's ever been in the VC with me knows that happens all the time. Ah!
I need to invite you into my VCs then.
Yeah, like
Perfect.
yeah, like just I honestly was surprised that it wasn't the like the Undertale like phone call thing like the then again that might get your hopes up more because you were thinking, oh boy, my favorite character's calling instead of just like whatever like ad or whatever your phone decides to spew at you that day.
It's you. Haha, you were expecting Papyrus, but no, it's Spamton.
God damn it, that would be the most soul-crushing thing in the world. Nothing against Spamton, but Papyrus, my beloved.
I love both of them. They both give off the same brain cell energy for me. Just one of them is broken and probably having a midlife crisis. The other one is on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
Which is
how.
why I think it's funny that in the ad infinitum thing they switched the papyrus statue for Spamton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I love that.
it's kind of funny how like the most popular characters in the fandom and stuff like they're both white faced people just out.
I mean, one's a puppet and one's a skeleton.
Yeah.
They barely constitute as people.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, they're more comparable in like their general face shape being similar.
Yeah.
Big old
Oh,
smile.
yes.
And
They
having
both have a mood whiplash component as well, as far as their speech patterns, because Papyrus will jump back and forth between saying something profoundly naive and then profoundly insightful. And Spamton, because of the way that the predictive text slash replacement censorship find and replace thing in his speech patterns works, it's like he can go from something intensely personal and then something completely corporate sterilized. So like the text in the sweepstakes, one of those hidden pages where he's like, they'll all pay 9 easy payments of $9.99.
So good.
Yes.
his
Yeah.
brain just broke. Too much chromer.
Too much
I think
going
something
on.
that's really interesting about Spamton is
Much
how the
light.
Q&A kind of subtly implied that all the parts of his text that are in parentheses are actually taken from other places on the internet.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Also, I will never forget that I was robbed of the worm on a string.
one. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What do
that's
you mean?
I
I've
wanted the cutting board,
Had the
honestly.
name. I've had the name Spamton on a string for a year. Someone else won my prize. Succumb to the worm. Succumb to the worm.
Are you a single mother? You will be soon.
Yeah.
The amount of implications in that one sentence.
A
Yeah,
two-sentence horror
the
story.
whole Spamton sweepstakes was just like that was a trip.
Uh-huh.
And even more sad that Toby's like, oh, this is not canon. It's like, F you, yes it is.
I was not surprised to see that Scorpy was involved in writing any of that.
He only said that the video wasn't
He
canon. He didn't
fandom
say
will
anything
take
about
it
like
and
the
run.
sweepstakes
Video's not
information
canon.
or like the Q&A not
Yeah.
being canon.
Yeah, just the sweepstakes announcement video. I think he's implying.
That video was like an analog horror.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Apparently, it's something that group that made the video does a lot. I don't know because I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with them, but I have a friend who's into them, and that's what they
Oh,
said.
yeah.
So
Oh, they did
Radio
that.
TV kills Wayne like once a year, like clockwork.
Yeah, they did a
I think
really
they're
good job.
Kenny.
And let us not forget to stand for the national Spamton anthem, which was just a whole bunch.
It's just happy birthday.
I love that. It's like,
We can
it's the
sing
only,
copyrighted.
yeah, it's the only free domain song that everyone knows and is so stupid catchy.
Yeah,
And glitchy, just like the namesake.
yeah.
Our Lord and Savior, the Scrunkly.
Yeah,
Dr. Mecca in the chat says, is the ARG website itself part of the lore or irrelevant to the game? I think
think
the
part of
ARG
it is-
stuff is lore.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's supposed to be some clear backstory stuff.
yeah, I think that there's definitely components to the website that are canon, like the journal entries by Noel and stuff. For instance, those are probably
Mhm.
canon, most likely.
Yeah.
The Noel
Yeah.
blog.
What I'm wondering, is it canon that there is a sighting of a Spamton plush in the dark on the toilet? That is important information.
Probably
I
not.
need
There will be.
this.
There will
Somebody's
Will
going to
be.
do that.
Oh, what if it's a
I'm gonna
reference to
do
that
it.
one meme that was popular like a year and a half ago that was like, why do they call it a restroom? I'm fighting for my life in here. Someone made an edit where it was Spamton sitting on a toilet. Maybe that's a
Oh,
reference
there's
to
several
that.
of those, and I have one on my phone. I have it on my phone. I'm sending it from my phone.
I'm sure he's
that's
like
great.
That
The
sounds so
fan gamer,
threatening.
Why do they call it a restroom? I'm fighting for my life in here.
Yeah, yeah.
God.
That remind me of that meme that's been going around. It's like I remember seeing like Deltarune Chapter 2 versions of the meme. It's just like apartment complex. I find it quite simple. Based on what?
Telling me a
yes.
shrimp fried this rice?
Chef's kiss.
I think they
Do
prefer the term short king.
Excellent.
Found it.
Yay.
Yeah, let's get a look at this
Please
from the.
subject my orbs to burning.
Magic Guy Studio says, what theories do we have for Spamton? I mean, I think after Chapter 2, his role, like, main role in the story is over. But
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that all the secret bosses will have a role to play because there's a reason they're being turned into items that you can use, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
True,
is
but I think-
implied that as items, they're still sentient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, but I think that's only if you, like, fight all the hidden bosses. I think if you don't fight them, I don't know if it's gonna come up again.
Yeah, like
And even then, that's probably
I remember people were just like, oh, like Jevil and Sean or
Sham.
Sham. Yeah, Sham would have like such big such big roles to play, and then they just weren't in Chapter 2 at all.
Except
Well,
for Sean,
Sean
who
was.
still had his shop.
Yeah.
I think Sham, I think, is going to play some kind of a larger role later. I don't.
Yeah,
know
they got all the
now.
secret information.
Sean
Yeah.
is
He's
being
Mr. Exposition.
They-
Sean is being stupidly cryptic,
They,
and I
right.
am scared of. I'm scared of them.
Yeah, Sean
Yeah.
actually had quite a bit of lines in Chapter 2.
Sean, what do you know? Shakes them.
What do you know, Sean?
Shakes
So-
Sean.
I imagine-
Reveal your secrets.
I
Yeah,
imagine
So, personal theories on Spamton. I
Mm.
think he was always short.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think he was quote unquote shrunk in the acid. That's one of the theories. It's like, it's interesting. It has its own merit. I don't think that's what happened.
Wait, people think he was shrunk in the acid?
Yeah, because Queen mentions
Because
that the
Queen
small
in one of the
houses-
lines said,
Mhm.
for all my guests. Like, how are they going to fit in them? Shrink from the acid.
Yeah, and Spamton himself does say something about, I used to be the emails guy, now I'm the, oh, stop, help, it burns guy.
Oh.
In Japanese,
Oh.
that translates it's too bright.
Mmm.
Okay, so not fire burns from its break.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's just where it came from.
Burning my eyes is so.
Yeah. Again, it has its own merit. It's like my own personal theory. I just think he was always short.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
He's just a little guy.
He's
He's a scrimblow.
He's just a little gremlin who wants to sell you something. Is that so bad?
In exchange
Depends
for
when he's
your
selling me.
soul.
Yes.
Next question.
Anyone else
What
have
we got?
theories?
I
Ooh.
have no theories. I am trying to be as blank of a slate as possible, so when whatever happens in canon, I won't be disappointed or anything.
Yeah, Spamton probably has a role to play along with all the other super bosses, which, man, I can't wait for this cycle to
He's not
repeat
dead.
with.
Will be
when
the
chapter...
secret boss of Adventure No 3.
Yeah,
I
mean-
know, and I don't care.
I have a theory, but it's
Fucking
just, it's more
Tana.
like a theory against a theory, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
Ruin
think
it.
the communion line that Spamton says is as relevant or important to the identity of the night as many people want it to be.
Yes. Me and you. Mm.
Oh, I have a theory about that line, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's set up in such a way that it's implied that he's about to spill the beans and then something stops him.
Yeah.
What if
And
that
even more.
entire exchange is actually a representation of what actually happened to the knight?
Ooh.
So they got too close to something, and then they instantly regret it, like 100%, all their body, every cell. And then they are now super angry about what happened, and they're about to take their vengeance on the world. And Spamton just told Chris and us, and we don't have the context to recognize it for what it is.
I mean, that's possible.
Yeah,
I'm personally,
Fabulous.
I'm
Remind me again
personally.
what that line is.
Oh, the line about communion?
Speaking of communion, Chris, did you know that the night? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Too many excess vacation days. Take a god vacation straight to hell.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he also mentions communion in the line immediately before that when you're going through his dialogue options, and that's specifically about his transformation that he wants into, like, you know, the other body for him.
Mhm.
So, like, the
You
full
too.
context of communion kind of divorces it from the context that people want it to be to prop up their own personal thought for who the knight could be, which is Alvin.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that because it's, you know, completely off topic. But I really feel like a lot of the religious references that Spamton says are simply because religious spam emails and chainmail from back in the day are an aspect of Spamton's, you know, personality as a spam email.
Oh,
It's not because the
Probably what he
religion is a
was.
legitimate hint towards the knight.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a thing today, but definitely back in the day, you would get lots of religious spam emails.
Oh, yeah.
Send to 5 friends and Jesus will bless you.
Oh, and all the stories about, like, my mom, she was reading to me spam emails one time, and one of the stories was like, here's this list of celebrities and real things they totally said right before they died, and they were all shit-talking God. Like, sure.
yeah. Just,
I'm
Hey, has anybody else ever heard of the Storm botnet?
the
No.
what?
No.
It was like a prototypical botnet, as in like a whole bunch of distributed
Yes.
software that had like limited access to like a central command server, but it spread through an email called like something like Storm Warning, and it was one of the first examples of it ever actually being, you know, out in the wild. I think it was theorized before then, but because no one had seen it in action before, nobody had any like antivirus or anti-malware countermeasures to deploy right away. So a lot of people had no idea what to make of it. And I kind of got that impression from some of the stuff I heard and read in the super boss fight, where Spamton's as like a virus is trying to infect something larger than himself, another machine, and become more powerful, but he's still a machine. Or maybe I'm just reading way too much into it, which is...
I mean, I think the thing he might be trying to infect isn't necessarily a machine, but the soul, because that's what he needs to be able to transcend realities into the Lightner world.
Right. He needs
Yep.
to get bigger. He needs to infect a bigger machine. First the library
think it's-
computer, then the laptop, then
Oh.
Chris,
And that actually makes sense.
then
No, it
us,
actually no, wait.
the players.
I just realized it actually makes sense because the soul is presumably the connection that Gaster might have made connecting us to Chris. Therefore, it is some type of program or machine.
Survey program.
I do think it'd be interesting if he's not just trying to surpass the Lightner world, but aren't we the ones controlling the soul? If he's trying to surpass the strings of code.
I
Yep.
think he just wants to go into the light world.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He
It
wants
seems
to
like
Not
use
him.
your computer,
He
personally
did.
your computer.
Hampton wants to live on my computer like one of those freaking little
Yeah.
desktop buddies.
Yeah.
Ukegaka, I make
Oh,
those.
Spamton is Bonsai Buddy. Oh, that was I should not have thought of that. I'm having a instinctive revulsion.
Now I just imagine it. Now, now I just imagine you're just trying to buy something on the internet and stuff, and then there's just a pop-up with Spamton just being like, "Hey, hey, user of computer, don't take that deal. Take this deal from take this deal from an unregistered source for the low price of 4 payments of your soul."
Oh, I just remembered another Spamton theory. Sorry that I keep bringing them up, but I was like, you know,
Oh.
brain is going through the files manually. But there is a theory that some of the things that are in parentheses are not necessarily direct quotes from other things, but references or replacements that are more like metaphorical or synonymous rather than directly related to what he means to say. And there was a really good theory. I don't remember who it was by, but it was on Tumblr. And it was hypothesizing that the hyperlink blocked specifically means a way out.
Sometimes in the morning, a little escape.
Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, hyperlink blocked. I mean, the obvious joke is like...
Hello, bye.
What the heck was that?
We got a
Wham.
Wham. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, like like whenever you see hyperlink blocked, I mean, the obvious like answer that most people thought of was, it's totally this porn.
What?
No.
Beats them with a frickin' newspaper.
I mean,
I'll say
it's something that a
from my
lot of
own
people
experience
want,
in
and it's
the-
something that their computers would quote unquote block the hyperlink to.
Especially in a public
I
library.
don't like the implications of I have just the thing you need. That's porn. It's like no, there's a minor.
Well, they say that's what the internet is for.
Yeah, and
Also,
also,
I'll give you all everything I have, every big, every shot, every porn. It's like no.
Well, think
Most
about
people,
it.
by
Think
the way,
about
in the servers
think
that I
about
was a
like
part
the
of-
biggest spam bots, the biggest spam pods. Is spam porn to you? I mean,
the biggest spam bots are sexy. Look at this man.
I mean,
Look at this man and tell
at
me.
this
Oh
tree.
yeah,
consult
that's
the internet.
guy.
I think that they'll all agree that he's already sexy. He doesn't need porn attached to him canonically.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop them from making it, though.
He
Well, they'll continue to
canonically.
be wrong about it then.
We live in a reality where Spamton won 6th place in the Sexy Man contest.
He's not the ultimate sexy man.
No,
Also-
Sans is.
Yeah,
for
specifically
some
Tumblr.
reason.
Oh yeah. Oh, not for some reason. Toby Fox has made 2 wonderful men. You're gonna respect him.
I think every single character that Toby Fox has ever made qualifies as the sexy man or sexy woman, honestly.
Yes. Or sexy they.
Yeah,
I
sexy
think
them.
we need to get back to like the questions. All right.
Yeah.
Theories. Onward.
All right. All right. This is the fun one. Would any of you take any deals made by Spamton?
No.
What do we
Absolutely
think about
not.
that?
No.
I've always been resistant to spam emails. They've never once enticed
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
I am
I've
the
always
kind of
been
person who would like, I'm the kind of person who would like reply to the spam email with a joke or something, but
Quack.
Gotcha. That's your engagement. That's the point.
but yeah, I would not click on the hyperlink blocked.
Like, yeah, like, you know, I'm always one of those people who's just like, I know to absolutely ignore this garbage like spam and ads and pop-ups and all that, but there's just one time where it's just like, you know, what if there's just like one time where something I think is completely like bunk and dumb and stupid, that's the one time it's actually true what they're saying?
I mean, recently I don't get any of the quote-unquote interesting spam mails. I get emailed by random people with image quote-unquote links, or it's like, hey, here's my final assignment. I hope this was okay. Sorry it's late. If you need it again, just email me. And I'm like, I'm clicking that link. I don't know your name.
Like, as someone who uses
I'm a
Telegram,
college person.
as someone who uses Telegram, yeah, big surprise if Furry uses Telegram.
I don't know what you're referring to. I'm
Evan.
picturing like a literal real telegram delivered by Pony Express.
Well, no, Telegram.
It's an app that can track your location.
Mm.
Well, it's just a chat app and stuff like that. It's used mainly by furries. That's the stereotype it has, and also political extremists. But we don't want to get into that. Anyways,
I think it.
Sorry, I'm still hung up on the visual of an old-fashioned telegram, like
Me too. Me too.
opening a sheet of paper and it says, "To who it may concern, stop. Screw you, stop. Strong letter to follow, stop."
also, since a bunch of furries use this, ooh, stop. Oh, stop. Ooh, stop.
Oh, please stop.
No.
I'm going to beat you to death.
Onward.
Yeah. Anyways,
before we move on,
I get a whole bunch of spam stuff about like crypto and stuff like that. Just like I'll randomly be added into servers that are filled with crypto bots, and of course I just leave and block the servers right away. But I'm just like thinking like who thinks that this is legit? Like you added like 50 people all at once. Like who do you think you're fooling here, man?
My grandma has very often been the victim of Spamton Chief Spamton, actually.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Onward. What's the next question?
one thing I wanted to cover before we moved on.
Oh, yes, Mike.
Yeah,
You were
time club, Mike.
talking
You
about
speak.
Spam when he showed up. I don't know if anyone else has this background, but I actually studied marketing and customer relations and salesmanship and all that kind of stuff in college. So the whole time I was interacting with him, I was getting like, okay, not only do I recognize these strategies, he's not even that good at them. So I was like getting like red alerts all over the place in the back of my brain.
I mean, there's a reason why he's in the dumpster, man.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder if he was a spam bot that previously was good at the whole spamming and trying to sell you junk stuff.
He was apparently at one time good
Yeah.
at it.
And then the internet ecology evolved and left him behind.
Yeah. Like
strategies that work in the 60s don't work in the 90s, and those that work in the 90s do not work now in the new 20s.
The reason he's in the dumpster is because everybody threw out his spam emails, threw them into the trash.
Like him.
So now he's in the trash.
Yeah, like one of my favorite like Spamton animations and stuff was like this animatic with the unreleased song from the 2012 version of the Lorax called Biggering.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I saw that too.
Which, by the way,
would Spamton destroy the environment? New hot question for the chat.
Yes,
he would. If it got him this Cromer.
Yeah, Cromer definitely
is
resembles
the true Onceler. No, I'm not taking that back. That's out in the world and it has been for ages.
It's okay. You're among people that aren't Onceler fans or used to be Onceler fans.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
I was never into the Onceler like that.
Yeah,
I was on Tumblr when it was popular, but I wasn't involved in that stuff.
Yeah, seriously. When I look at him, I'm just like, really? This stick? I look like I can snap him in half.
It looks like you could snap Spamton in half. Your point?
No, he's too short.
No,
yeah.
No leverage.
I have to
No
brace it
leverage at
against
all.
my leg.
Snap the nose.
Yeah, you could probably break his nose off.
It looks like you could put him under a hydraulic press.
Will
I
it
will
blend?
snap your
That is
nose off
question.
and beat you with it.
That isn't very cash money of you.
Chris, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
All right. Anyways, moving on. Spam emails and are the main inspiration for Spamton, along with pop-up ads. Does anyone have any interesting stories based around those ads?
Oh, sheesh.
Off the top of my head, I don't think so for me.
Yeah.
Just slid out my brain.
My grandma is very often a victim of spam ads. Like, she'll go to a recipe website and then she'll get one of those full screen pop-ups that's like, your computer has a virus. You need to call this phone number. And she'll actually do it. It's like, Grandma, no, please, this is the third time.
Grandma, no. I am very glad that all the adults in my family are pretty technology savvy. Like, even my grandma, who's like 85 and stuff, she has an iPhone and knows how to use it and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm just glad I never had like a conversation where it's just like, where's the any key, sweetie? I've never had that conversation.
The any key. Like, I haven't really been plagued by spam emails, really, but I have I have been plagued by pop-up ads before. I have also been on some rather shifty websites, and you know what kind of ads they have sometimes, which, like, that's why I have an ad blocker. But
Man, nothing like
think-
going on to nothing like just trying to watch some episodes of Steven Universe early and accidentally clicking on something you shouldn't.
hot singles in your area. It's just like,
It's me. I am the single.
I am the
The
single.
craft single.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only hot single I want, really. But the I'm trying to think of
now I'm just
any
thinking of like
particular
hot
ones.
singles in your area. It's all just melted cheese.
Excellent.
The only good hot single.
For my nachos.
Yeah.
I think
Grilled cheese ad.
I have
Oh,
actually
so
gotten
great.
like craft ads as a pop-up before. Thinking
Ah.
about that.
Alright. I actually have something interesting to bring up about Spamton being one of those programs, but also quote-unquote having his own personality.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things is someone pointed out a lot, yes, he will try to scam you. Yes, he will always is like, take the deal, take the deal, take the deal, take it out, take it! You know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
He always gives them an out because he's obsessed with the choice.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, he is obsessed with choice because like it kind of like the whole thing with how we as people who played through Undertale, we kind of became obsessed with choice and stuff, like which route did you choose, which dialogue options did you say, and all that. Just trying to find every single different choice and stuff. And Spamton himself just being completely obsessed with choice and being like, you know, you should take the deal and stuff. But you don't have to. I mean, you should, but you don't have to.
I think he's obsessed with choice because he feels like he doesn't have any.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he doesn't have the choice. He has to be a salesman.
He's like a,
Yep,
a
it's in
puppet
his
in
code.
a sense. So
He is a
doesn't
puppet
have
count.
a choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, shout out to Story Wolf in the chat. Hi, Story Wolf.
I stole
Dory! Wolfie!
I love you.
Yeah.
I got this wasn't an email, but I got one of those messages on Steam like, hey, this person was impersonating you, but I thought it was you, so I reported you, and now I can't unreport you.
Oh, hey! My significant other actually fell for one of those, and I had to actually go around and delete the account information, get them a new account. Fun times.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I know someone that fell for that.
Yeah, I never fell for any any sort of thing like that. But I definitely I got on Tumblr, I got a couple of porn bots send me messages and
Every time.
But yeah, it was like somebody that I had friended on Steam for a game, because they gifted me a game, and so but then apparently they got hacked, and so but I had talked to them on Discord before, so when I got messaged on there, I was already like, and then I just basically said, message me on Discord, you coward.
Dang.
And they didn't. So then I messaged the actual person on Discord. It's like, hey, your account's hacked, and they're like, I know. And so then I went back to the Steam chat and called them a sussy baka and left.
Just, I mean, there's always been those retorts that you always think of to give to spam bots and stuff. I believe one time with one of those porn bots, I just bleated like a deer because, well, that's what my persona is, and I just went bleat, and they just didn't know how to respond to that. They were just like, okay, so you're interested, and then I just bleated again. It's just like, okay, so you're interested, follow the link below. Okay, so you're interested, follow the link below. And then I realized this will go on forever if I let it.
I mean, I think the porn bots, they're mostly completely harmless, genuinely, on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll DM you, but they just want to send you to a fucking stream or something, right? Yeah. The ones that are actually harmful are the ones where someone goes into your inbox and is like, hey, could you reblog my pinned post? And it's like a charity thing for their dog or whatever, and it's like, sure. And then you look up the picture using a Google reverse image search, and you find 17 other Tumblr posts with the exact same wording.
And then there's the Ray-Ban sales thing.
I mean, that one's kind of gone away
too.
I don't spend that much time on Tumblr, so I don't know too much of the Tumblr meta.
I don't spend any time caring about any name brands. Haha, take that, Ray-Bans, you bitch.
Currently, Tumblr is obsessed with manscaping.
Yeah.
I mean, those are ads, though. Those are legit ads. They're not
Yeah, and also, it is a pretty decent product. It's not gonna lie.
Not saying it isn't. I'm just saying I'm tired of seeing pears.
Yeah, I remember there was a good place meme of the Manscaped deluxe set. We've all seen it.
I
haven't, because I pay for the Tumblr subscription.
I don't get ads. I have ad blocker.
I had the Tumblr subscription.
Nice.
Yeah, another subscription service to suck away our limited funds.
It's only $4.
I didn't know that, dang.
Yeah, and if you want, you can turn your ads back on so you can see the horrible ads that everyone's talking about. And you can also change it so you can see Blazed.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Addison.
You can also change the settings so you can see ads, and then you can also change the settings so you can see blazed posts. So if someone's blazing an absolute ice cold take, you can see it if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to other stuff. What does everyone think about Spamton's backstories with the other salesmen, like their relationships to them and stuff? It seemed that they
so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it seemed that they really cared for the little puppet thing.
Little puppet thing.
Everyone made mistakes in that horror show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why Zarla decided to make a little Deltarune side comic.
Defragmentation is my is my heart and soul at the moment. I love defrag.
Yeah, shout out to Zarla being an amazing comic creator
Woo!
as always.
Hi, Zarla.
I actually got permission from Zarla to do a dub, so it's like that. Hopefully, will get done after my music book. My life is pain. I'm doing the world's most intense method acting of Spamton.
Yeah.
Give
I'm gonna be right back. I need to go handle something right quick. So, all you just talk amongst yourselves about this stuff.
About the funny little guy,
What
little
if
man in a
while,
midlife crisis.
What if while Pasta's gone, we just talk about him instead?
What if we talk about Papyrus?
Yes!
Oh,
Pappy! We need Pappy. We are being deprived of Pappy.
yeah.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
His absence is so suspicious.
Very suspicious.
I'm
Papyrus is
personally
the
in.
enigmatic voice.
Yeah,
He's the guy who set up the whole Deltarune game.
that'd be funny. Personally, I like the headcanon, the theory even, that Papyrus is the knight.
That'd be adorable. He did want to be a part of the Royal Guard.
Yes, he did.
Adorable. He might end the world. That's not adorable.
Yes, it is.
Oh, let him!
I'm going to,
Oh.
actually, I'm legally required to fight you in the streets.
Yes.
Aw, the apocalypse is so cute.
But what if he
Okay,
won't
that's
join
it.
you in
I'm
the
hunting you
streets?
for sport.
Stalemate.
Anyways, I wrote a big theory about it. I wrote like all the like connections and stuff. Like a lot of the connections are actually just how it's really interesting that there's so many things in Deltarune that are references to stuff Papyrus has said.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trashy the Trash Can haunts me. Haunts me. Because it's only like, you know how like the dump is like in two pieces, and like there's a phone call from Papyrus for like every major room in the underground, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you call him from one of the dumpster rooms, then he says that he has trash at home, Trashy the Trash Can. And it's like, oh, it's a funny line because it sounds like he's dragging his brother for being garbage, and that he, subverts your expectations by saying that he named his garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Trashy the Trash Can exists in Deltarune as an actual character is like, oh.
Yeah.
And then
plus
that
his
makes me
thing with
think
Papyrus
that
with,
actually-
like, the dark room.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes me think that's a public library that the computer lab is in, yeah?
Yeah.
yeah,
And all the computers are on when you get in there. What if
Yeah.
one of the people renamed the desktop recycle bin to Trashy the Trash Can and it was Pap?
I mean maybe, but he only moved to town just a couple days before, and he hasn't left his house apparently.
The devil works fast, but Papyrus works faster.
You're right, he's very speedy. But yeah, there's just like a lot of weird stuff that specifically relate to Papyrus in Deltarune. Another weird thing about Papyrus in Deltarune is that in the second hospital room there are two sinks, and the narration is like there are two identical sinks. Perhaps they were once one tall sink, which is a reference to two things. It is a reference to the theory that Papyrus and Sans are pieces of Gaster, and it is also a reference to Papyrus's tall sink.
I always figured that
Love
was
the
kind of
tall
the point of
sink.
it was a reference, like, remember the tall sink? Here it is again, but
but
it's
not.
funny.
Mm,
Sorry.
Yeah,
It
chapter
has-
1 was filled with those kind of fake outs.
Yeah. I
It
just think
still
that there's
freaks me out in chapter 2 that if you go down weird route, the blue piece is missing from the hospital room.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
another reference that I just remembered is that after Susie beats up the Rudin and throws them in the garbage can, she says that she invited them to meet the garbage can, which is something Papyrus says when you check the garbage can. That's the garbage can. Feel free to visit it at any time.
I'm back, guys. Did you guys stay on topic?
Ow.
Yes,
Sort of.
totally.
Yes.
I knew you guys were talking about Papyrus. I have wireless headphones, and I just listened in while you guys were.
Yeah, I was talking about the theory that Papyrus is the knight because I'm obsessed with it. It haunts me every night.
I'm
in your
for it.
dreams, you see it, the restless place.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that'd be a fucking sick-ass dream. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you shouldn't swear on this podcast.
No, you can swear. Just try to keep it on the down low and try to keep it to PG-13. Maybe we've had a couple of...
I had the F-bomb. No one else can say the F-bomb now.
No carpet bombing F-bombs.
Yeah.
No saying F words like flip, frick, fire
Can I
truck.
say snazzle frazzit?
Yes.
Yes.
I was tempted to say no.
Alright, next question is,
Yes.
what does everyone think of the interesting connection that Spamton has with Metaton, with him having a Neo form and other such parallels?
I like the crack theory that Metaton was the collar he was dependent on.
Yeah, it seems like that suit already existed, and he was just taking advantage of it after it was discarded.
Yeah.
It's a matter of who designed it, if it was
I mean,
Metatron or Alphys.
I think it's Habstablook.
There's also Habstablook isn't the real name, but there's also just the fact that the mannequin in one of the areas next to an Addison, the little mannequin that looks like Spamton, it's wearing the same dress that Metaton was wearing when he was doing his little play part of Undertale.
Oh, I never even noticed that.
Yeah, me neither. That's interesting.
It's the same dress the lion is wearing at the end too.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a theory, but it's pretty involved, so I'll wait till everyone else has had a go.
I think we had our go.
Nobody?
Yeah,
Have your go, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was picked up from the trash. He was.
Yeah, this gets a little bit involved in like sales theory, but the basic idea is that in order to sell anything to anybody, they first have to have some sort of desire for what you're selling. And you can see a lot of that in like spam emails where they're appealing to the lowest common denominator, like, the most basic desires like companionship, natural male enhancement, all that nonsense. And I think that what happened with the Neo form, that was something that a Lightner had created using the software, and it was basically like wish fulfillment art, which is what gives it the power in the dark world. And Spamton was drawn to it like a moth to a flame because the sales thing worked in reverse. It was offering him something that he wanted. So that was the key attachment. It wasn't specifically like a specific character parallel between the two of them. It was just the salesman has been hooked by the sale. Now the trash cans have become trash themselves. Take them away, boys.
That's a good theory.
That makes sense.
It also kind of ties into something I read in or heard in an audio log in the original BioShock, where one of the characters was complaining that the con man, Frank Fontaine, like all con men, is afraid he'll be on the wrong side. He'll afraid someone else will con him instead. And that's what happened to Spamton, because he's a crooked salesman. What if someone screws him before he can screw them?
You know what? I'm gonna add in something on that.
Here's one of my theories. It's not 100% serious, but I like it. Spamton trans.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, they can kind of see it.
There's nothing that specifically emphasizes it, but nothing that would specifically, negate it. So it's certainly possible.
The free float. One thing I wanted to mention that was actually mentioned by a close friend of mine, and I wanted to bring it up here. I think Spamton was caught in an MLM.
Oh no.
Oh no. Pyramid scheme.
And that's why he doesn't like Jevil anymore. It was an acrimonious divorce. Oh, you were talking about multi-level marketing, my bad.
The other MLM. Bad one.
Yeah, no, the Facebook MLMs, not the man.
Tricked into selling like literal snake oil.
Yeah, snake water baptism.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not literal snake oil. It'd be rosemary oil, and then they would say that it cures cancer or something.
Yeah.
It's like, let me use my generic name I can't use, oregano oil. And later I'm going to be ready for some hashtag violent diarrhea.
Why do they call it snake oil when you have to milk the venom out of the fangs? Checkmate, atheists.
Thank you.
How do
That-
feet
that's
smell
a-
if they don't have a nose?
Why do they call it oven when you in the cold food, out hot, eat the food?
I hate
Yes.
that line so much.
I love.
I
Oh no! No!
losing my mind.
Why do
Oh
we-
my god!
Why do we cook bacon but bake cookies?
Cookies.
Man, now I'm thinking of Arbuckle. Curse you! No, that's okay. I'm gonna
Think
find
about
an image
better
and
Garfield
subject all of
related
you to it.
media, like Garfield minus Garfield.
Garfield minus Garfield is peak, like existential.
Yeah, it turns a wacky comic into something really sad.
It's depressing.
Yeah, there's
Anyway,
two ways
hi,
you can do that.
Spamton. Yes, demo.
Demo.
What? Wait, what?
Rip.
Snake? Snake!
Can you not hear my voice?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we hear you
no,
now.
yeah.
We couldn't hear you before.
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet must have pooped out.
Oh no.
Eh.
Spamton, he knows we're talking about him behind his back in front of him.
Spamton is crossing.
I
the
knew
wires.
Spamton ran Comcast. It makes so much sense.
No.
It is telling that for the whole of Chapter 2, the internet was out in Hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like it's been out for a while specifically, and that's the reason why I haven't been in contact with Azrael at all.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of basically filling in a plot hole of if Christmas is Asriel so much, why don't they just voice chat or stuff? I mean, they could just call him, or them.
Yeah. Yeah. But.
Reasons.
Oh yeah, one thing I haven't heard too many people bring up with Spamton, he always is talking about talking on the phone and everything, all the calls and the deals, and the cell phone is one of the only items that carries over directly into the dark world from the light world.
True.
Mm-hmm. But the cell
Yeah.
phone is also not usable in the dark world for some reason.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, all you get is garbage noise, but it does work. You have a physical cell phone. It doesn't transform into something else like the pencil
Yeah.
turning into a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The
just.
shadow crystal. Actually, well, shadow crystal is a crystal in the dark world. It's a piece of glass in the light world.
Yeah. Crystal, glass, something shiny that's partially see-through. It's all the same. But all you get is garbage noise. Who's in the garbage? Me!
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the connection between Metaton and Spamton is that the connection is Metaton was the only one who quote unquote marketed himself. He had steaks made in the shape of him. He had his own hotel and everything. Just yeah, they're connected in the way that they were both salesmen. They were both trying to sell people stuff.
Oh yeah, well the first thing a salesman has to sell is their own brand. Otherwise, why are you buying from them and not some other guy?
Yeah.
All about that branding.
Why would you buy from him when you could buy from me?
How
Are
would
you
I think it'll
clone?
be? Probably at least another 20 minutes. And that was my brother having interrupting me once again.
Is that an imposter I hear?
Well, technically, I'm the imposter because I'm the little brother.
I see. You are the clone.
I'm the imposter. No.
Is that an Amogus reference?
No.
No. No, it's a pasta pun. Okay, what's the next question?
Thank you.
Yeah. The next question is during the okay, this is actually talking about, you know, the actual gameplay part of this video game. What did everyone think of the 3 different battles with Spamton? I.e., the first one, the super boss, and the weird route. Final boss.
Yeah.
I never played the other fights. I only played the one that you have to do because I didn't know there were fights.
It's not that I didn't know. I just took the loaded disc out into the light world with me.
Spamton's just with you forever now.
I did have an easier time getting through the Spamton boss battle than the Jevil one for one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the real challenge isn't seeing isn't the actual super boss. It's the dang thing you have to do to get to it, like the.
It's the teacups.
Oh, the teacups.
The murder
teacups.
That was an ordeal.
That I had way more tries on than Spamton.
Yeah. Pasta was there. Pasta was watching my shame.
I was, you know, with how you were saying that, it's like, it reminded me of like freaking Elrond from Lord of the Rings. I was there when Cupcake fell many a time to the teacup puzzle.
Yes, I died so much to the stupid teacups.
It's not necessarily a puzzle, it's more a gauntlet.
Yeah.
It is. But I would have to say, like, I enjoyed the first fight. It's a bit, you know, it's trial and error, but you know, that's how it's supposed to be. The second fight was, other than the teacups, was very enjoyable. I had it easier time than the Jevil fight. And then comes in with the weird route, and I still haven't beaten him on the weird route.
I never did the weird route because I don't do like weird or genocide routes. It's just not my jam.
Same. That's not my bag either.
Yeah, we're all too pure to freeze people alive.
I think it's more that I just don't like to kill
Not
people.
me.
Yes, I
mean, unless it's real life, then they might deserve it.
It's not that I'm pure. I have a well-pronounced evil side. I just am very selective in how I express it.
Exactly. These little video game characters did nothing wrong. Why should I kill them?
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't kill them. You just cryogenically freeze them forever.
That's death.
Nah.
Not according to the Immortalist. But yeah, so I'm not sure how different it is between like Pacifist Super Boss and he is the final boss in Weird Route. But
so the difference is in the weird route you only have Chris, but in the what do you call it, the main route you have Rouse and Susie. But the thing is that Spamton Neo, his attacks are balanced more so that it's doable with just Chris. Like, it's not exactly the same fight, but like the attacks and everything are the same.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it have to be balanced, especially if like instead of an optional boss, that's the one you have to beat to actually get for that route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one other thing, I think part of the reason why Jevil comes across as being more difficult than Spamton Neo, it's because in Chapter 1, you don't have access to as many like healing items or as many like armor and equipment. as you do in Chapter 2 when you fight Spamton Neo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very useful.
Yeah. Also, like, just a little small part of the Spamton Neo fight that I like is the whole like phone call thing of like, what? It's for me.
Oh yeah, it turns the phone
Yeah,
on.
that's hilarious.
It's for me.
kind
Yeah, I
of
love that
showing
part.
how it kind of symbolizing how like no matter how much of a good salesman you are not immune to marketing propaganda.
I
It
like
was
the,
another Earthbound reference because in Earthbound, there's a lot of times the enemy will take a turn, which is just pure flavor text. It doesn't actually help it or harm your characters in any way, shape, or form. It's just something they do.
And it's not the first time that's happened.
interesting.
Like, it's a couple times in Undertale, they'll have
Yeah.
moves that, like,
Speaking
nothing you do.
speaking of Earthbound, I should really get to playing that because it's like it's on the Super Nintendo, Nintendo Switch Online thing, and I've never played it, so I should finally get to that.
Really good game, difficult.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to play it when I started, and then my DS died, and I lost progress, so I stopped.
No.
One
now,
thing,
apparently Mother 3 is excellent. That's the one that most people agree is like the best one though, which apparently we're just not allowed to play.
No export for you. Come back
What?
next year.
Come on, Doug Bowser. Reggie Fils-Aimé wouldn't help us out.
So
You
what's
can-
the
Doug
next
Bowser doesn't work
question?
there anymore.
Oh. Sad.
going back to the Spamton Neo fight, I like how Toby left in that exploit where you can spam the big shot, but Spamton gets really mad when you do it.
Go and die.
Yep.
How dare you use my own cheating techniques against me?
In speedruns, they use that the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always like the fact that the main route, Spamton Neophyte, it's just the escalation of everything that went up before that. Because when you first meet Spamton, it's all like, oh, well, I've run into a spam email. I suppose I could read it and see what's going on. And by the end of getting dragged into this whole thing, suddenly you're dealing with literal identity theft. And I think that it took me over a year to figure out that was the metaphor for Spamton trying to steal Chris's soul.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, one thing I don't remember where I saw it. It might have been on a different Discord server, like discussion. But in Spamton's shop, like the text that shows up comes across almost like it's what Chris is thinking, where it's just like run away for leave.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
You might
really,
have automatonophobia.
yeah, it's really interesting, like, Chris's relationship to Spamton, considering, like, it's like one of the few, like, crazy things, Chris just, like, actively backs away from.
Mhm. And like the neophyte obviously like shook Chris somewhat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even more so
Yeah.
because he did the final thing. We didn't.
Yeah.
Merely just a
You cut him
puppet
down.
on a string.
Seems I couldn't be anything more than a simple puppet.
It kind of makes you wonder if, like, at least in the regular route, it's Chris doing a lot of this by themselves. Obviously, the player's guiding them. But they're still really reluctant to actually deal with this thing. So it's like, are they just going along with it the whole time, even though they really don't like dealing with Spamton? Or are they like, okay, I'm just still going to handle this by myself? Or how the narrative is handling that kind of aspect?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Spamton's just a whole thing about control and stuff. Probably hits way too close to home, too.
Yeah.
I wonder if in the other chapters, if it's going to be a similar kind of a thing where it's like the hidden boss is the like end boss of that chapter, or if that was only for chapter 2. If you continue the weird route.
I feel like they might mix that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, who even knows if Weird Route's gonna manifest the same way next time?
Yeah.
I think in some way it will. Maybe not necessarily with like Noelle specifically, but
Some people theorize
that
that
goes along.
Toriel is going to be controlled and she's going to burn Undyne.
Nah.
I'm still not sold on the idea that Undyne and Toriel go to the Dark World.
Yeah.
I am. Maybe not Undyne, it might be Napstablook, but it's definitely Toriel. She's there.
But we still don't know if they're starting immediately in there. Like, they might not. My main thought is, like, it seems to be setting up Caddy and Jockington.
Caddy and Jockington.
Daddy.
I mean,
Caddy and Jockington with some of their dialogue and, like...
Talk sprites.
in the podcast that Dork was on, that we mentioned earlier, someone mentioned that the sprite of Susie lying down and then blinking awake might be how the chapter starts. She's waking up in the Dark World.
Yeah, I could see that. So I'm like 50
Maybe.
on
Yeah.
Toriel being in there, but I'm still not fully convinced yet.
Yeah, I mean, the way that chapter 2 opened, considering the end of chapter 1 was completely unexpected. Well, except for that one guy who made that joke comic who just got completely vindicated.
Yeah, I'd say there's a 90% chance that the chapter is going to open in the Dark World, but I won't say a 100% chance, because if there's one thing we've learned from Toby, it's that it's impossible to predict what that guy's going to do next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love him for it.
Yes.
Yeah, Toby Fox is the master of is the master
Of subverting expectations.
He knows how to do it. He's been here the longest.
He does. Also, he definitely knows his fan base. If the sweepstakes is anything to go by.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I might be wrong and Toriel is the Dark World partner, but I'm still kind of focused on Caddy and Jockington being.
I honestly think.
How would
that
they
was,
even show up to this one, though?
If they
Don't
don't
know.
work Dark World, easy way for them to show up there later.
Honestly, like, I don't believe, but I think possibly that Caddy and Jockington might be the ones who appear with you in the church, given Caddy's like occult stuff. So that would be like,
This is kind of
little
anti-church.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
I freaking love that one comic where it was Caddy or whatever, just Caddy just Chris and Susie were telling them about the Dark World, and she thinks it's gonna be all like demonic and stuff, and they just go inside there.
Wait, this is
One thing that I noticed that I didn't see many other people bring up in the screenshots Toby posted from the Spamton sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris and Susie are sitting in the diner, but Susie won't go in the diner in chapter 2 because of Caddy. Now, it's possible, I guess Caddy's just not there, but that screenshot is from chapter 4, so it's also possible maybe Susie and Caddy like work something out between them before that happens.
Yeah, something must have happened with the mean girl and the esoteric obsessed girl. Something happened between them.
Either that or it's just Caddy's day off.
Yeah, so it could be she
Maybe.
Yeah.
they figured something out. We'll have to see.
Like, I going back to the like Toriel and the Dark World thing. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's not gonna happen. All I know is that if it does happen, there'd better be the option for, if Toriel is in your group, to give the enemy timeout. As one of her
The
moves.
angry eyes from the tutorial portion of Undertale.
Yeah.
Yeah, give enemy death glare.
and it like stuns them for 1 round or something.
Or she lectures them with like a teacher's lecture on a topic, and they fall asleep,
Yeah.
and then they can be spared.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, going on to the next question.
Sorry.
Are we on question 9 or question 10? Dang. Wait. Let's just say question 10. Who does everyone think Mike is, and how big a role do you think he'll have in the story?
I don't think he's the
I
TV.
don't know.
I don't think he's a TV. I don't think he's a TV.
Yeah,
I
the
don't think he's
sweepstakes
a
basically
TV.
confirmed that like Tenna is probably going to be the big boss of the next chapter.
Yeah,
Kinda.
that's more likely.
Yeah.
Mike is either a minor character or the secret boss. There is no in between.
I mean, some
Mike
people are
is-
just like, oh, it's Gaster, which kind of can be just like...
Yeah, Gaster Mike Wingdings.
You may
It
call
could
me.
be a pseudonym. He could just be screwing with Spamton and stuff.
Could always be short for microphone.
Sephiroth,
I'm
Billy
thinking
Bob
it is.
Orton.
Well,
Yeah,
Tenna means antenna.
Yeah.
I'd be Aunt Tenna.
On top of the fridge. Not fridge. On top of the TV.
On top
What kind
of
of
the
reception
fridge,
do you get
I
on your
put an
fridge?
antenna on my fridge. We get Wi-Fi, boy. Woo!
Yeah, I'm going to Wi-Fi download some ice cream into my freezer.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Actually, most fridges do come with Wi-Fi these days, which is not actually
I know,
as
it's
good a feature as people think.
awful.
I want
Yeah.
my fridge are terrible.
I obviously pushes up glasses. Mike is short for Mikey Mouse, and it's going to be a take on Disney's corporate overlordness.
I mean, I
As
love...
opposed to Charles Cheese, the crooked casino for kids.
Indeed.
God.
What's the E stand for?
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Also, his first name really is Charles.
Yeah,
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
It's not a restaurant, it's a family entertainment center.
It's a casino.
It's Baby Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's.
My point stands.
I've never been to a Dave and Buster's, actually.
Dragons
I have.
have invaded Dave and Buster's.
Yes.
Once did Dave and Buster's meet up?
Imagine, now I'm just remembering Spamton lore from the community. Just the, hey, I want to leave you a sexy message. This is the IRS, Internal Revenue Service. It's like, thanks, Spamton.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
Spamton definitely evades taxes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
But only because the queen is collecting the taxes, and he doesn't like her.
Tax-free is religious.
Just like Yoshi.
Yeah.
Give me the tax
I
fraud.
remember that name.
Yoshi. The thing is, Yoshi committing tax fraud, like, it just doesn't. I don't even think that Yoshis understand the concept of taxes.
That's why they're committing tax fraud. They do it by accident.
Yoshi's accidentally they just eat the papers.
So about that
It's like,
Spamton.
yeah, it's like trying to tax Kirby for the Kirby series. Just like
I mean, that doesn't work because Kirby's a child.
Yeah. Also, could you imagine just like some Waddle Dees just coming up and being like, you have to pay the taxes for Dreamland and stuff, and Kirby just swallows the papers, or one of the Waddle Dees for being real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because Kirby's named after the lawyer.
Yeah.
Fun.
He's named after a lawyer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Spamton, you could stab papers onto his nose. And
I've seen art of him being thrown at dartboards. It makes me so happy.
Yes.
I've seen art of him as a mosquito.
Also true. I was in that community. That was a wild time.
I don't want to know.
You don't.
You know, Spamton.
He sucked your soul right out of you.
That's what he wants. Yeah.
Spamton as Hummingbird.
They did that in the advertisement.
Spamton
Exactly.
as a, let's see, what is it? Armored beetle. That was a fun one.
Spamton is one of those drinking birds you can put on your desk as a conversation piece.
Spamton as Count Dracula.
The Spamton Neutrinos.
Spamton as just a kiwi bird, just an island out there somewhere with just all of these
Kiwi!
Spamton just running.
That's giving me a horrible mental image of kiwi birds when they're about to lay their eggs.
Absolutely should have made a Spamton drinking bird, like, as merchandise.
Yeah.
You know, you
They
say
should
Kiwi
have.
just reminds me of like TC96's, like.
Spamton as Plague Doctor.
Yes.
He just imagine.
He extorts you, and then he just fucking just
Yep.
dumps wax on you or
Sorry,
something.
yours are not balanced. Can't fix that.
Yeah.
Takes off his face, and there's another one underneath. Whoa, it's exactly the same.
What's underneath the mask? Another mask!
Another man.
Then there's that video of a guy in a Plague Doctor mask sniffing with the elaborate nose a chicken nugget.
Yes.
Would you like a bee's chigger?
Bees chicken.
Would you like the chicken the nugget? Just Sonic characters.
Alright, so what's the question?
Yeah, okay, next question is, what does everyone think about the internet's sudden fixation on, Spamton?
I mean, it's
Reasonable.
not unfounded.
Yeah,
It's
not sudden,
unfounded.
not
Not
unfounded.
unexpected.
The second that I started seeing that he was getting popular, I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
a little gremlin, and I've learned anything from the Undertale fandom and stuff, this fandom loves little gremlins.
Yeah.
People in general love little gremlins. They should just have them more and stuff in general. Everybody loves a weird little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Just
my
make more
favorite
in
my
real
favorite weird little gremlin is Pidge from Voltron Defender of the Universe.
Not a little gremlin.
Gremlin's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent gremlins.
I mean, I didn't expect them to draw. Well, I did, and I did. I didn't expect it to just be like suddenly like them just being like, you know, that puppet. I want to draw him tall and handsome. Like I knew it was gonna happen, but at the same time,
I mean, they do the same thing to Sans. No surprise.
yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't quite fallen into the same category as most Tumblr sexy men. Like, for the most part, they do keep him, like, kind of short and dumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that very accurate description.
I mean, he does still have, like, a nice little suit on most of the time, though, which does fall in line with Tumblr sexy men.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, but
And glasses,
unlike
don't forget
most
the
Tumblr
glasses.
sexy men, he's not wearing pants.
He might be wearing pants. Most people
He's
draw
not
him in
wearing-
pants.
He's not wearing pants.
Most people choose to ignore this.
I'm good.
Yes.
This like I was gonna wait, but apparently it's not on the list. I just wanted to talk about the official Spamton plushie ad that Fangamer made.
Yes. Yes. Drown him in milk and throw him to the wall.
Yes.
The Webkins milk cat.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of that was when they had him at the two favorite parts. The like cat food bowl just full of coins, and he's just yum 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 yum. And then when he's at the piggy bank, he sticks his nose in, sniff sniff sniff, and gets a coin.
Getting Canadian coins out of it specifically.
Yes.
Also, I like the little eviction notice on his house, and he's just
He just
out.
Yeah.
What happened to him in real life, actually?
Yes.
He was evicted. Noticed.
Like all of the fan made ads for the plushie are more tame than the actual ad for it.
Yeah,
Which
they
is
are.
surprising considering what this fandom is known for.
We have a question in the Discord.
Oh. Yes. Oh wait. Probably can't hear us. Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna vacuum you right into the chat.
Demo's my new favorite person. Wee!
A vacuum with great comedic timing.
No, we were talking about Kirby. No, we were talking about Kirby earlier, and Kirby just appeared behind him and just started sucking.
No, that's the sound of Spamton sniffing for coins.
I believe it.
Yeah, just spam,
Being
just
Romer.
just like on the ground, just sniffing for coins. He like goes into the couches and stuff to see if there's loose change.
Hey, like me.
There usually is.
Yeah.
You find some interesting things on the couch. He said so.
He just fits in there like a cat.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I found such wonderful treasures inside here.
So many treasures, such as coin and lint ball.
Bruh.
So many shiny coins and the dead bodies of several insects.
And
An old student ID.
a
no.
remote.
Oh no.
And
All the glorious things that Spamton can find in the couch.
that just
Julia.
reminds me of one time. So back when I used to play a lot of stuff on my 3DS and everything, Pokemon Y was my jam back in the day. That was like the first Pokemon game I really got into. And
Pokemon.
yeah, and then I just, oh hey Julia, you actually joined us. Hi.
Bruh. Yeah, the profile picture is different. My old one, because I thought people would be a little weirded out by it. I had a cursed, what the heck is this kid's name from Turning Red? The bully that bullied May? What's his
Tyler?
name? Tyler, yes. I had a cursed version of his face as my profile picture, and I'm like, I don't know how people would react with that, so I changed it to my own character. So, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, with Spamton, I don't know. When I first played Deltarune, I viewed him as a scrawny little dude, and also gave me slight PTSD to fucking Saw.
Oh yes.
Ugh.
Jigsaw.
Billy the Puppet, yeah.
I hate the puppet. I hate the puppet from Saw. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, get back in the bin. Get back in the trash bin where you belong. Go back. I was on Chris with that one. I'm like, oh my god, Chris, you and me, man, we hate fucking dolls.
Yeah.
Automatophobia.
Yeah. What I was saying, I actually lost my copy of Pokemon Y for like the longest time. And then
Oh,
Into the couch.
no, it wasn't in the couch. So I had these so my family has these hanging chairs out on our porch and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you've been to a Renaissance festival, you might have seen them. They have a stall for them each time.
Fair.
Yeah, sky chairs. And just one day I'm just sitting out there with my brother and stuff, and I feel something weird on my butt, and and I just,
On your butt.
yeah, and I just stand up and like move some like dirt and leaves around that were in there, and there I see Pokemon Y, no worse for wear.
Bruh.
After
Wow.
6 months.
So many questions, no answers.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh my
I was just
God.
glad to have the game back, honestly. Like like it's not as bad as the one time where I literally threw out a brand new game that I got.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I had just gotten Mario Kart 7 for like my 13th birthday, and I was at the movies and stuff. Don't know what movie we saw, and
Oh, that's not important.
yeah, it's not important. But yeah, I had this like bundle of I had brought my 3DS with me to play into the car because the movie theater was a bit farther away, and I played some Mario Kart. Like just started playing it like the Mushroom Cup, and I put the game card away. For some reason, I didn't put it in my DS. I just put it in my pocket by itself, and then when I was like, and then one of the things I did back in the day was like I'd put trash in my pockets, and then and then I'd like throw it out like at the end of the movie, just keep it all contained in one place so I wouldn't lose track of it.
Oh no.
And with the handful of trash I had, with like the plastic stuff from like the candy and stuff that I had, I threw
Muscle
out.
memory.
I must have thrown out the 3DS cartridge along with all the trash.
Rip.
Now Spamton has it. Spamton finished the cup for you.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I just got Mario Kart 8 later on, which is just Mario Kart 7 but better. So
It's pretty much that. Yeah. Also, I looked up Mario Kart 7, and I'm like, holy shit! I was just a fucking little nugget back then. Like it was released in 2011.
So
yeah,
So
getting back
Thing.
getting back on topic, getting back to Spamton. Next question. Yeah. Next question is what is everyone's unpopular opinion on Spamton?
Unpopular opinion?
Yeah. If you have one, you don't need to like force.
This
it.
man
that I
is in
don't
his
like
50s.
Spamton?
He's in
Like,
his 50s.
What? Wait, what?
That's my unpopular opinion. He's in his
Wait,
50s.
what'd you say?
This man's in midlife crisis.
Oh.
I mean,
I
I
don't
can
know, like,
see it.
what we
I
don't
can
like
see
about
it.
Spamton? Or what we don't like, or is it something else?
No, it's just an unpopular opinion whether it's something like just
Like
something
personal
you think
headcanon
about
or
him.
whatever that you think that not
that
a lot of other
most
people
people
think.
don't.
Oh, okay. I don't know, like,
You don't have to say it if you don't have one.
I don't know. I don't think I have a. I don't have a headcanon in my mind. So.
Mine. I think. I think mine would probably have to do with his voice. I think he sounds like Danny DeVito.
Ah.
Mhm.
I can kind
Not
of see
quite
it.
how I imagine the voice.
You know what? Oh, sorry.
Triangles.
In my opinion, the voice. Speaking of the voice, I could not get this voice out of my head. There's this one video of Spamton, I think, having the voice of this dude who was like saying like stealing your parents' credit card. I can't remember the video's name, but I don't know. But that like high pitched like crackhead energy voice just did not escape my brain. So that is my new headcanon for Spamton. I'm sorry.
How to get your channel demonetized real quick.
In 3 simple steps, we shall make it so that you get no more money.
Only I get the money.
It was kind of just like,
Money
"Hello,
for me."
everybody. Welcome back. Buy our merch at Rep. Go to Redbubble and buy our shirts. Steal
I
your
wasn't paying
parents'
attention. How does this relate to
credit
Spamton?
Wait, what?
Unpopular opinions.
Oh.
Unpopular
So we know
I don't
where
have any
they
items.
think comes
Spamton
from.
isn't attractive in any way, shape, or form.
He isn't. He's an ugly little guy. He's
I
he's
did
hideous.
not understand
He's
the
a
intro.
garbage man. Who said he has to be attractive to have people attracted to him?
Yeah, he's a
I mean,
dumpster rat.
He's not. As
He's
in, I
a
don't
little
find
punk.
him traditionally attractive. That is what I mean. Like you've seen some of the fan art that's tried to quote unquote fix him.
Twitter can shush.
Oh no.
No, he's a shitty little dumpster rat who smells like garbage.
Who smells like garbage and used ads.
It's like, for me, it's like when people like started to have a crush on Gaster. It's literally just a blob. Like,
I mean,
well,
Yeah.
actually, never mind. I mean, there was a lot of good drawings of him. Never mind.
I feel like it's not the same as with Gaster, because Gaster like has like 5 pieces of canon information, and one of them is that he talks like how old people text. So, like, you know, like Spamton has a lot more going on. I can see why people might be attracted to Spamton. He has a personality. Gaster is just some dude.
But that's the thing, is that because he doesn't have a set personality, you can make up whatever personality you want, attach it to him, and now he's like you.
He could be prime husbando.
He's your perfect
I-
Build-A-Bear.
I have something to say
From
about
the
that, but I
void.
I must refrain from saying what I want to say about people who do that to Gaster.
I respect your opinion, and I want to. It's like, that opinion is mine now. I'm taking it, just like I'm taking your gender.
My gender?
Yes.
Prepare to become liquid then.
Perfect. I will.
Stolen
I will
gender?
You can't
utterly
steal my
remove
gender if I
your
don't have
kind.
one.
No sex, no gender. You're literally just a cone.
Uh-oh. Also, like, my favorite Spamton design, I think, is this one. It's
This
by an
one.
artist called Bright Goat, I believe.
Oh, we
Oh,
love
Bright
Bright
Goat.
Goat.
Yes.
Fuck, yes!
We stand
Yes!
that goat's art.
I love their style of...
I have a friend who's like really into Spamton, and they'll like occasionally reblog Spamton art, and every time I have to look at it and remind myself this person isn't attracted to Spamton. They're not attracted to Spamton because they only reblog the Spamton art that's like, ah yes, the artist who drew this is very obviously attracted to Spamton.
Oh my god.
I
I don't think Bright Goat is attracted to Spamton.
No, not this person. I'm saying my friend. My friend. I don't know who this person is.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, Kippy, are you okay?
I want to just pick that sound of a train and put it in Spamton's mouth.
Sorry about
He
that.
opens his mouth.
That's not your
It's
fault.
fine, Demo is fine.
Demo, you're the best. I love how there's random sound effects coming from your side that are just like perfectly comedically
I have
timed.
a
Yeah,
vacuum
you're
cleaner
better
and chain to my
than
left.
the person with the Spamton voice modulator.
Like,
Oh, me.
like you are absolutely like enhancing this whole experience, Demo. Do not worry about it at all.
What I find extremely funny is that when I asked if it was okay, I just hear a vacuum cleaner trying to suck me into the voice chat. Just going like freaking Kirby style.
apparently the universe is just conspiring so that Demo it's just completely interrupted by odd noises at
Yeah.
opportune times.
Compilation of
Yes.
sound effects just popping up out of nowhere because of Demo.
Yeah. Like, forget incidental music from Sans, just incidental sound effects from the universe.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
Should we go on to the next question then?
Yeah, let's keep moving forward. Okay,
Only
so
like 2 or 3 left.
yeah. So we got a lot of new revelations with the Spamton sweepstakes. What did you what did you all think of the whole event and the additions to the lore? I mean, you kind of already covered this a while back.
Very disturbed by it. I am very disturbed by it. All right, I found that I don't know who did who cosplayed as Spamton in the live stream of the sweepstakes, but that dude freaked
Wayne
the
and Balp
fuck out of me.
from Radio
Who?
TV.
Yeah.
Radio TV. Wait, what?
They're
was
from
it?
a specific series.
Oh.
Spamton is a guy named Wayne.
Oh. But yeah, the guy that was in the stream, I was disturbed by seeing him eat the peepus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
weird.
weird.
That was
Like, what
really
the fuck
odd.
was that? The chubby bunny. Do y'all remember the chubby bunny challenge where you stuff marshmallows in your mouth until you can't talk? That's what it looked like, but instead of marshmallows, it's fucking peepus.
He was just in pain. Like he just looked and sounded like he was just in pain the entire
I
time.
could tell. It looked like, oh my god, he was just like, right, like choking on the fucking peepus. I'm like, does that taste magical or something? Like, the fuck is going on?
I just like the fact that during the sweepstakes, we kind of came to the impression that, wait, Noelle was Spamton's mother, and enough people to make, like, fan art of it.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was debunked.
Not that. Oh my god, it was immediately debunked at the end of the Q&A.
You got to screw up really bad for Toby Fox to actually come out and say, "No, you got it wrong."
Yeah.
I mean, it
You
hasn't.
think that Hachi mama is my mama? She's a
What?
Yes.
But I just remember that, what was it? Another thing that disturbed me? That toilet picture with Spamton in it.
He's just
Have
going
you
to
seen
the
this
bathroom.
man?
I don't know, like, why is it so ominous, though? Like, dude, why is it
That's just what it's like to go to the bathroom when the power's out. I know, because it happened to me this morning. The power was out, and I tried to turn on the lights in my windowless bathroom, and it was just pitch dark.
That is
Exactly.
terrifying. I would not make it in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Take a
you're in a public bathroom when the lights go out?
Dude, for me, I have a deep irrational fear of the dark, so if I were just in the bathroom, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden it just went pitch black, I would have a fucking panic attack.
Well,
Yeah.
especially
Good thing you
I
knew the
would, I
bathroom,
just
you already
jump
done
in the
it
back
yourself.
after me.
Yep.
Well, at least if you piss yourself, you're on the toilet already.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Thanks.
Yeah. Just the.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Just the picture of Spamton on the toilet kind of reminds me of like analog horror or like those fuzzy sort of distorted pictures of like quote unquote like a Bigfoot or
Like,
whatever.
pictures
Just
or something?
He's just a cryptid. He's just a cryptid at this point, really.
Yeah.
How many questions do we have left?
Like
What?
3.
yeah, we had 3.
Thank you.
I'm the only one who can understand you, Gibby.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
Show.
Down.
A cursor corral. Who's writing things in the questions? What?
What the fuck did I just run into? I was like, I search up Spamton, and then I just find a picture of like from Know Your Meme, and it's like Susie looking on her phone, and it says, "Here's my good side, Susan." It shows Birdley trying to be all like smooth, and I just see Noelle in the back about to dump a bucket of ice on him.
Good.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Ice
Bird-
bucket challenge.
Ice bucket challenge.
The challenge instead of the actual ice bucket is try not to flirt with your dream gamer girl
Don't
GF.
flirt with Susie. Like, don't flirt with Susie, otherwise Noelle will dump ice on you.
Yeah.
Ice baby.
Don't mess
The
with
only
Noelle's
reason
girl.
she got recaptured at the end of
This is what
chapter
this
2
is the
was
picture.
because she was so busy choking him to death.
That was that was amazing seeing
That was
my
great.
brother's like. I'm so glad I got my brother's live reaction of that on the Delta Chapter 2 live stream.
That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I did not. Yeah, I was not available that day.
Yeah.
Like,
All right. So moving on. This doesn't really involve Spamton. Well, it was shown in the Spamton sweepstakes, but it doesn't really involve Spamton. But it's Delphin related, so whatever. What does everyone think of that scene describing the scene described in Noel's blog involving Susie bullying Chris prior to Chapter 1?
That was
to make it into a comic.
I wanted to make an animatic out of that, but I never got to it because it's just.
I do want to work on a comic or animatic as well. Actually, I really found it interesting. Like that was really interesting.
Yeah.
People really didn't like it. They thought it was out of character, and I'm like,
It's not out of character at
That's
all.
not out of character. That is in character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that you have to remember that that Susie was kind of like a much worse person before she went through the dark world and
Like
stuff.
Susie really wanted to fucking hurt Chris, but Chris was just like, I don't care. Thanks for the apple, though.
I think we now know, though, from that Susie is not originally from hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That confirmed that.
I actually have a headcanon that was based on this because I have a whole bunch of like friends who are really involved in like the Deltarune theory scene, especially with why Susie was so mean to Chris and what their relationship was and stuff like that. And they were talking about like I don't remember what they were theorizing, but I theorized that Susie was one of the other monsters that Toriel could have adopted way back in the day, which is why Susie remembers Toriel. Toriel doesn't remember Susie. Susie was never in hometown before, so she never would have had Toriel as a teacher, but she has fond memories of Toriel somehow.
Wait, what?
well, the thing is, the first scene that we have like in Noelle's blog seems to indicate that she doesn't think highly of Toriel. That she's like, oh, your mom's, we'll be better off without you. She's like, kind of saying
That's not thinking lowly of Toriel. That's like not thinking very highly of Chris and thinking that Chris doesn't deserve Toriel.
True, yeah.
And Toriel, Susie seemingly doesn't have parents. She's here potentially alone. She might be homeless. She's new to town. I think like potentially that like there's that theory that Susie was adopted by humans and lived with humans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that's the case, then she was also adopted, which means she might have also been up for consideration by the Dreamers to be adopted by them back in the day. Which is why Susie has memories of Toriel, but why Toriel doesn't really remember Susie.
That's interesting.
That's
I did kind of believe the theory that maybe Susie was adopted by humans, but I felt that one was a bit of a stretch, so I wasn't sure.
I think that's possible, but I think it's also possible that Susie, she moved to hometown from a place where she had just bad experiences with humans.
Right,
Yeah.
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 You could have
Probably, yeah. Also, if we're gonna be on the, if we're thinking that Susie is like doesn't have a house at all, right? Noelle better fucking take Susie in. I swear to God.
I think she does have a home. I'm pretty sure the game is supposed to imply it's in the apartments because
You're right. You're right. Oh my God.
Like prior to going down to the bunker and like seeing Monster Kid and Snowdrake down there,
Yeah.
Susie says, "Wait, I thought we were going to your house, Chris," implying Susie lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
There's some people who think that she might live in the alley.
Well, that's near the apartment complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if she did live in the alley, I feel like somebody would have noticed her there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since we've
Although
had.
she does drink the milk.
Yeah, she
Oh,
does drink the milk.
What if
certainly.
she climbs that ladder and goes and sleeps on the roof?
Interessante.
I'm just not.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm not sold on Susie being homeless because it's like how would she be going to school then?
Homeless kids can go to school.
I'm not sold on the adoption theory myself. I think it's a little more complicated, but I think it's more likely that she lived in the hometown a long time ago, but she was too young to remember anything except her teacher, Toriel, who was like maybe the first person who was really unconditionally nice to her, and then her family had to move to like the human community for, I don't know, work reasons, and she eventually ended up moving back to hometown for whatever reason.
I don't know about that one. Just because I think Toriel would have remembered her if she was her student. But if it was just a one-off meeting, then like that's much more likely that she would have forgotten.
Yeah, dang, I'm just thinking about I'm just thinking about a joke of like dang recession causing monsters to move to move into human districts.
My main question, or like my main concern is not the word, although it is concerning. Just the main thing that got my curiosity piqued was that Chris said something. What did Chris say that made Susie react? Cause I want to know.
I don't know. What if they said like? Oh, sorry. There was someone talking.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I like the theory that they said that good.
Good.
Yes,
Just good.
Like they deserve it.
Like something confirming.
Probably because like they don't want to be like controlled by the soul, right? Because it's been going on for so long.
No, because Susie was talking about how Toriel doesn't deserve Chris and how Toriel will be happier if Chris was dead and or missing or whatever. If Chris responded good, that's not necessarily related to the soul. It's because they have a low opinion of themselves.
That's true. Yeah.
That would really throw Susie off and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
Like, that makes more. Sorry, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. That does.
Yeah. And the thing is,
You're right.
I
don't deserve them.
like with the sweepstakes, it seems like based on the whole thing where Noelle describes like Chris playing the piano but then stopping whenever they see her looking at them, it kind of implies there's something off with Chris even before like the game starts, which we didn't necessarily know before.
Which we weren't the cause of, I think.
Honestly, it's something
I mean,
that
it could relate back to the whole like situation with deaths and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
honestly, it's something that was
Like
brought up.
maybe something bad happened to Des and like Chris blames themselves for it or something like that.
That's
What if it has something to do with the bunk? A lot of people made a lot of people make theories of Des and the bunk. Like
Bunker?
maybe the bunker, yeah. The bunker, yeah.
Bunk.
Bunk means something else. It means nonsense.
It's
Yeah.
nonsense. Yeah.
It means two beds stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, thank
Oh.
you.
That too.
Bunk, good. Yeah, but the bunker. Yeah, I did see a drawing of like maybe whoever is in the bunker. I think it's Gaster. Like probably Gaster lured Des in or something. Probably when they were out. Remember when Noelle was talking about with Chris while they were walking through like this word puzzle that spelled December. Noelle was talking about how Azriel, Des, Noelle, and Chris were all out going to the bunker. What if
they were
something
in
happened
the
on
woods.
that day?
They were not at the bunker. They were in the woods around the graveyard.
Oh, the graveyard. Oh, they're in the graveyard? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were near the bunker. My bad.
My personal theory about Des is they're the person trapped in the code.
Yep.
With each chapter, there's
Yeah.
more unused text in the code. Like, hello? Is anyone there? I can hear
Yeah.
scratching.
Yeah.
It's
And
really,
that
really
music
unsettling.
track name that was on the Spamton sweepstakes too. That was Find Her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a thought I've had recently. What if Ralsei's one of his secret deals is he knows where Des has been the whole time?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Oh.
So-
that.
Everyone
Rousey
is
is
so
awfully
earnest to make
suspicious
Rousey
lately, so
evil.
I'm gonna believe that.
Well, we
Well,
don't
that
know
wouldn't
if it would
necessarily
be
make
with, like,
Ralsei
that
evil. It'd make him
intention.
He
complicit.
could easily just be hiding out and think
That's kind of evil.
That's evil,
Determined to
man.
prove that there's something wrong because this man tried to convince me to forget that Spamton was a thing moments after his death.
True.
Oh.
He didn't die, though.
Well, he got decommissioned.
He's still sentient. He's just an object that you can, like,
Yeah,
carry around
he's
with
a tiny little crystal man instead of a tiny little puppet man.
He's
No,
not
he's
he's
like-
crystal,
he's
he's
either-
glasses.
He's
or a scarf.
Oscar.
Instead of a freaking puppet, it's just a poof ball with a scarf and a little wizard outfit. That's all
He's
it is.
just a little keychain locket thingy. Little stuffed animal on a keychain.
Yeah, that's it.
You just take him out, and every once in a while, he'll just be like, Chris!
Damn. Wait, here is my big question, though. Why does Rousey value Chris so much? Like, he doesn't care much about the other characters. He values Chris
Prophecy.
more than anything. The prophecy? Huh.
Well,
I mean, yeah, Rousey values Susie a lot too.
Susie, too.
Yeah.
There's one thing I also noticed. This is kind of irrelevant, but especially with the swan boat ride. I remember I saw this and I'm like, don't tell me this motherfucker likes Chris in that kind of manner.
I hope not.
That'll be really fucking awkward, considering Rousey looks like the twin of Azriel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Susie also mentioned something about Rousey looking just like Chris's mom. So.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even think about this. Susie, does she not know what Azriel looks like?
Yeah, Susie's never met Azriel. Another reason why she's probably never been to hometown before.
Yeah, she must have moved
That's
after
right.
Azriel went to college.
Yeah, it would have to be very recent because, I mean, how long has he been in college?
Presumably only a year at most.
Yeah, honestly, with how things are, I just think, honestly, with how things are and stuff, I could totally see him this is the first month or so that he's gone.
It might be longer than that. It really depends. We don't have a confirmed month that it takes place in.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
no
We don't know
explicit
much about-
calendar for what's going on in hometown.
Yeah,
We don't know
I
what
think it does
the
I think it's October at least though, with just how.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
I
mid-October.
kind of feel like that.
Yeah, at least
October sounds about right.
Yeah, at least mid-October with how how the leaves are colored. Also, I just think of there's just gonna be a moment I believe there's going to be a dramatic moment where it snows in hometown.
I mean, we already saw from the previews that there's going to be rain in the next chapters.
Rain.
Yeah.
It's raining somewhere else. It's
My
raining
personal
there.
theory is that by the end of the game, all the leaves will be off the trees, over the garden wall.
Yes.
Cupcake just yes, my baby.
Yes. Yes. Over the garden wall.
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh! Speaking of baby, I just found the most adorable picture.
Oh. Also, yeah, but going back to the myth of Des, probably.
Oh.
I drew a
With
picture
Des,
like that one.
for some time I thought she was dead, but if she was dead, why is her grave not in the graveyard?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she must be missing.
Not
Yeah.
confirmed dead.
I thought
Or
she
there was no body to bury.
but then I went back in the graveyard and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's heavily implied that she's just considered missing, but her family probably treats her like she's dead since, it's been a while, presumably, since little Noelle was even upset about December's name in the spelling bee.
That's true.
So she's been missing a long time, and the family, for the most part, is probably convinced that she's dead, but I don't think Noelle is.
Yeah.
And she keeps trying to find my sister, and Spamton's like, well, I can sell something here.
Noelle values her sister and her father more than anything.
Yeah.
I can't say the same about the mother.
I think the mom is just lost in her grief and has become a workaholic because of it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That would make sense.
Very likely.
Probably,
I highly doubt that she's any kind of villain. She's probably just a very strict lady who just lost a bit touch a bit.
She's turned a bit cold, if you might say.
I'm going to fight you.
Please do. I need the exercise.
She's an ice queen. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Beat you up.
Spamton, go haunt freaking pasta guy.
Hey. Come at me, bro. I have salt. I have crucifixes. I'll
that won't work on him.
He just eats the salt.
He just eats the salt and the crucifix.
Malware bites.
Try to sell you this absolutely, totally legit holy water for $99.99.
Damn.
Me.
No, I'll just give him one of my expired debit cards, and he'll leave.
Alright, Story Wolf said in the chat, they feel like Queen is Noelle's view on her mom. Yeah. Nothing in the end of chapter 2 definitely felt like Noelle was talking about her mother.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a reoccurring theme in the chapters. Like chapter 1, somebody theorized somewhere that the Chaos King is a reflection of Susie's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Maybe.
Oh no! Wait, okay, wait a minute. If Susie viewed the king as her dad, right?
A reflection of
or
him.
reflection, I should say, yeah. Then, did she have a younger sibling because he was about to hurt Lancer?
I mean, it's theorized. Okay, so you know how there's 2 caddies and their names are just spelled slightly differently?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people theorize that there's 2 Susies, and that's why they're spelled differently between Undertale and Deltarune.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
We're getting all sorts of fan theories up in here.
We're really reaching, but I'm excited to see where this goes.
I like fan theories, so I know a lot of them. I know a lot of bad ones too.
You know it.
I still subscribe to the whole Rousey is actually like the horned headband that Chris used to have that's absorbed all this the hopes and dreams of Chris like fitting in with their adopted family, and that's why he bends over backwards to try to make sure Chris is happy, and how the more Chris starts to warm up to Susie and the more Susie warms up to Chris, the more Rousey tries to warm up to them as well.
I could see that. I personally still feel like Rousey is some other entity, though, mainly because he can just, like, travel between the Dark Worlds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's hiding
explained
some
how he
secrets,
can do
that's for
that.
sure.
He's
Yeah.
weird.
What deal with the devil, Gaster, did you make?
He knows some secrets.
Matter
Reveal
of
your
fact,
secrets,
I
Goat.
think Excessive
I
Rousey
think-
as soon as he popped up after we defeat the player defeats the, what the fuck are those enemies
Weirwires.
called? Wait, what?
Weirwires.
Weirwires, yeah. He just pops up and I'm like, how the fuck did you get here? Where the hell did you come from? Right?
He's just like, hello, I'm here now.
I mean-
demanded it.
With the snap of fingers.
I think the reason why we don't know as much about Rousey, despite him being so mysterious, is just the fact that he assumes everyone else knows as much as he does. Kind of like with the roaring and how no one knew about that until he explained it, and he was really surprised that no one knew about it.
Yeah.
I think he's just an idiot, a little bit.
You know what?
I would say idiot. Socially inept
know if
is
he's an
something
idiot,
I find better.
No, I'm like that. It's fine.
Socially awkward Goat.
I still think we're gonna fight Rousey later, but depending on the route you take, the reason you
I
fight
mean-
him is different.
I think it might just be because Chris doesn't like Rousey all that much. Like, the tease and all, and how, like,
Yeah.
I think Rousey is even less than Noelle, even though Noelle and Chris have, like, obviously had some kind of falling out and they're not as friendly as they used to be. Like, Chris still likes Noelle more than Rousey.
I don't think the T theory holds that much water because they literally just met Rousey yesterday. Of course, that's not enough time to form the same kind of relationship as a lifelong old friend
Well,
like Noelle.
no, it is legitimate because it still shows that the characters that do know each other have stronger relationships than those characters who don't. Like, for instance, Noelle and Rousey don't have very strong relationship with each other, so their T's aren't very powerful on each other. However, Susie's T is very effective on Noelle, so it does hold water in the sense that it is still a reflection of how these characters feel for each other.
Although, here's my question, though. How come, I do wonder why Susie's T was so effective on Chris when they barely ever talked to each other. Well,
It's because Chris, I think, just values Susie a lot as a friend, especially after now we know more background.
I actually know a lot of stuff about this. There is actually a game that Toby Fox contributed to where there's items that have special powers, and one of the items is a Halloween pencil, and it tells a story about somebody who was friends with a girl who, like, asked to borrow the pencil and chewed on it. and that was contributed by Toby, and it's very obviously a parallel to Chris and Susie. And and there's also the diary entry that shows like Susie relentlessly bullying Chris. Chris always seemed to enjoy Susie's company, even if Susie didn't like them.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Chris always seems to have liked Susie some way, but especially after the Dark World thing.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Like Susie, like Chris valued Susie because she was also kind of an outcast like them. Like,
yeah,
just
Outcasters gotta stick together, you know.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody loves a tough girl with confidence and big.
Maybe Chris just has a crush on mean girls in general.
Oh,
I don't think it's a crush.
I don't think it's a crush
yeah,
either.
it's not a crush.
Crush, if it was a crush, it would heal Chris 400 health.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. I was like thinking in the back of my mind, like, how the fuck did the cruisy shippers react to that fucking diary entry? Because I don't know, I'm not a fan of.
It adds spice to the relationship.
Yeah.
For people who like Chris and Susie, like,
people who ship things, they'll go through a lot, man, just to keep with their pairing.
Yeah, they'll just ignore reality and like, oh yeah, no, it's fine.
I literally this. I remember like I think a lot of them ignored the Ferris wheel ride and just was like, yep, I still believe in Chris and Susie as a couple. Are you gonna stop me? No.
I mean, it's one thing if they just like to ship it. It's another thing if they're like, no, it's totally gonna be canon, and they like have this wall with all this string and stuff.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Because it's definitely not going to be canon.
No.
Oh, I prefer them being friends anyway. I think that's
their friendship is so good.
That's better in my opinion. Friends, like Susie and Chris being friends and a couple. I don't see a couple in them at all.
I see a couple of friends.
I'm honestly more worried something's gonna mess up their friendship than anything else.
Yeah,
that's
if you go down the weird route, I think that'll happen.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the actual like normal route though.
I mean, okay, so there's also another theory, and this is related to the shadow crystals and also Susie and Chris again, because once again I am a depository of theories, but there's a theory that the game we're playing is actually a reset. Because Chris used to have a file that had their name on it, and when you look through one of the shadow crystals, there's like a picture, not a picture. It looks like Susie is glaring at you coldly. And also, the text that you open the game with is Susie saying, Chris, wake up. Implying like, there's the implication there that Chris had died and reset the game back to this point, and now we're playing as them.
Listening to the theory Delta Cast theory stuff kind of got me on the thought of, I think they mentioned this, and I was like, interesting, about the idea that Chris specifically summons the player to take control of them. Because they're like, I don't want control of my life anymore. I'm gonna let somebody else take the wheel, basically. And especially since Cadian mentions like them and like Chris and them doing dark rituals together, occult rituals kind of stuff.
What?
And
why though?
That's a good question. Might be, related to backstory stuff with how Chris feels about their life. They certainly seem to have some degree of control over it. They can remove the soul when they really want to. It's just difficult to get around without it. But they're still the one being like, okay, I can take it out, I can put it back in, kind of thing. So if they really, really didn't want the player there, they could remove it. But
I do wonder. I still am questioning. Like, now that you mention this, I am questioning like the fact that they're making all these dark worlds, and also like the ending of chapter 1, right? Like, if you said like that, I don't know, like what was going on in their mind then? If they felt like they would just wanted to take out the soul that's controlling them, right?
Yeah, long enough to do that, and then put it back in again.
Well, they wanted to eat the pie, obviously.
For
Yeah.
chapter 1, yeah.
You don't need your soul for pie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god,
I
I'm
mean,
getting
considering how delicious those pies that Toriel makes are, I would understand why Chris would be like, no, I get to have this pie. No one else, not even the soul that I let inside me.
I will not share. This is my pie.
Chris failed sharing in kindergarten.
No, Chris. No, Chris. You have to share. Share.
Bitch, what the fuck does sharing mean? It's just all for me.
Chris
One
would just
thing
hiss.
that's interesting.
Chris would be like, "What
If
are
you
you, some kind of
use-
communist?"
If you use the Chaka diamond on Noelle, she splits it with Chris because Chris
Aw.
likes the chocolate.
Yeah.
Aww.
Aww. That's so
Chris, big
cute.
fan of chocolate. So valid of them.
The weird
Hard.
route in chapter 3 will be breaking into Toriel's bedroom and stealing all the chocolate.
Oh no!
Yeah, maybe.
Chris, how could you?
Chris, no.
Whack, Chris. Whack.
Chris the
Wow.
petty thief.
Very petty.
Chris, the petty excuse for a thief.
Aww.
I'm curious though with the weird route, like, because I'm assuming even in the weird route, Noelle is going to like come back into the party because the only way to make the twisted sword is with the thorn ring. But like, how is that gonna work? Like, after everything Chris forced her to do, or the player, I should say, forced her to do.
Well, what was the other ingredient of the twisted sword? It's the thorn ring and
The thorn ring and the pure crystal, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Mhm.
Twist.
Yeah, it's in the files of the game. The only way to get that is shadow crystals, and the text is like the crystal purified by the cat or something, implying that Sham is the one who gives it to you.
Okay.
We need more information.
Yes.
Yeah, Toby Fox, why are you holding out on us?
He's waiting to blow our minds, like he always does.
Yeah, the
I
interesting
don't doubt
thing-
that. Personally, I think the next set of chapters will come out next year.
Same.
Yeah.
I think if it does, it'll
Late
be
next year, though.
next year and like not soon.
I mean, if it comes out late next year, it's not because it's not ready until late next year. I think it might be more just because, like, this is when he likes to release games, I guess. You know?
Yeah, just
Well,
land the
also,
year.
like, he said they're not far in chapter 5. They've mostly done work on chapter 3 and 4.
Yeah.
No, they're releasing 3, 4, and 5 all at once.
Yeah, so we need to
Yeah.
finish 5.
Yeah, but
they haven't
just
made
mainly
much
been
progress
working
on
on 3 and 4.
I actually watched a really good video that went over the progress of Deltarune and why it took so long for Chapter 2 to come out. Chapter 2 took so long because it was the longest chapter, apparently. And also
Yeah.
because for 16 months, Toby Fox didn't even work on the game. He was trying to find alternative engines to use that weren't Dealmaker.
Also, he injured his wrist, and that's
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And I think he was still looking at.
He seems to be more active again. Like, I mean, he wrote a whole fan fiction for Sans winning the Sexy Man tournament, so I'm assuming his wrists are better. To
Yeah.
some extent, his wrists must be recovered.
No, he just did
As
it-
somebody
he
who
just did it
suffered that exact same injury, it takes a long time to heal from it, and you have to be careful afterwards. It just super
Yeah, I remember when you got that, and I was just like, no, I feel so bad, but also, no, paper trail is...
one of the most miserable times in my life.
I mean, drawing is
You
your
can break a major
passion,
bone
and
and
you
be
literally... Drawing
But
is
you
your
mess with the
passion.
joints. That's a
Yeah.
whole other ballgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of, like, that thing with, like, friggin' Odd Ones Out. It's like when they, like, when their drawing tablet didn't work, it's like, just like, I couldn't even eat food. I was that sad.
Damn.
So what's the next question?
Oh yeah, Spamton. Remember Spamton?
Remember?
Everyone's favorite number 1 rated salesman, 1997.
Spamton G. Spamton.
Okay. 50. Okay. is the reason that Spamton's damage is considered a cat type in the game because of the lore implying that he might have originated from the Predators game that that Noelle mentions in her blog. I mean, that could be it.
No,
I don't
because
think
it was
he
immediately
originated
debunked.
from-
Remember?
Yeah, this got proven when he was a spam email that was contacting Noelle.
Yeah. Like they have some relation, but Noelle ain't.
The white egg story might be more related to the mystery guy who's giving eggs to people. It might be more related to that than to Spamton, because Spamton's egg story is about sending her spam emails. She checks her spam emails, so he sends her the code for a Pepis.
Pepis.
Yes.
It was the world's first charity.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think the puppet cat thing is just like one of those jokes that is one level removed. Because if you pull a string on a puppet, the puppet moves. If you wave a string in front of a cat, the cat also follows the string.
Definitely seems
Doesn't he
like
have
in general there's a lot more. I don't know, I just find this kind of funny how Undertale has a lot of dog motives going on. You have dog enemies, dog marriage, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then in Deltarune we have cats, cat petters, cat type, just
I think
Still got the annoying dog though.
I heard something about there just being a general elemental type in general implemented in Deltarune. It wasn't very important in Chapter 1, but it was more fully implemented in Chapter 2, and there's several different characters who apparently have elemental types.
Damage types.
Yeah, apparently Rude is one, and Ice Holy is one.
Yeah, and also I think it was electric, which Shaw mentions at the end of Chapter 2. You need Shadow Mantle or something to resist the damage type.
Yeah.
Yeah. This does not relate to anything at all, but the two of you, whoever you are in the document, one of you is Anonymous Chameleon and the other is Anonymous Axolotl.
I'm the chameleon.
I am.
You are pasta.
I am pasta, and forever shall be pasta. It just shows me, and just cuts to a clip of just a bowl of noodles.
Just a bowl of noodles.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Last question.
yeah, what does everyone think about the theory that the Dark Worlds do not exist until they are made, at which point a false history is integrated in?
I think it's a bad theory.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah, who the heck wrote these? These are.
I actually wrote that last one because I wanted to discuss it and get everyone else's thoughts on it, because I personally think it's a really bad theory, and it was one of the theories that was talked about on the other podcast, and everyone seemed in agreement that it was true, and I personally do not agree with it, because narratively it functions the exact same as if the history of the world has always existed. What's the point of it not existing? There's some weird lines here and there about the queen saying the knight deigned to create this world, but I think that it's more the knights do something to the people who run the worlds that they interact with,
Yeah.
So I don't think that it was literally the knight made the world today. I think it was more like the knight connected this world to the other.
Yeah, he made a connection or something.
Everybody acts like there is already history here, so it really doesn't seem like there's a point in being but there wasn't really. And especially the stuff with Spamton, we know there is history. He actually contacted Noelle beforehand.
Literally someone who doesn't like that theory mentioned it as evidence against the theory, and they were like, oh, actually, it just means that the history drew upon that incident to help build Spamton more. Can you just admit that it has a history that existed? Narratively, there is no function, and there's no way to prove it or disprove it. The only way to disprove it is if Toby Fox heard about it and was like, no.
Yeah, and he never he never does that, except under very certain circumstances, apparently.
Yeah, it's very much the opposite of Occam's razor. I think I called it Occam's pipe bomb, where it's you are not trimming the fat.
That's an actual philosophical theory, by the way. It's called the I can't remember the specific name for it because it was invoked by like a fan RPG by some guy named Boltzmann, where the idea was that is it simpler to imagine that the universe just appeared in an instant with all of these faux memories that we have of an imagined past
Yeah.
than it
No,
is to like go through all of the complexities of evolution and like cosmology as we know it right now. And I don't like that theory either, in or out of the game. But it does create an interesting connection with the fact that the connection with like Gerson Boom as a story author and his connection to Alvin and Alvin's oblique connection to like the first Dark World in the disused classroom.
Right.
It's very, very tenuous. I would not put money on it to be true at all, but it's just consistent enough that you can't completely dismiss it.
I mean, like, the only way that it's consistent is the fact that, like, you could just insist that, oh yeah, these incidents that might be implicating, like, incidents of the past of this world, like, I'm sorry, I got lost in my own thoughts because this is such a confusing theory, genuinely.
It is.
But,
I
like,
think I hate it so much.
it's literally so much simpler to just assume that the worlds have always existed alongside our own, and the creation of the Dark Fountain is a connection to an alternate world that is a reflection of this world itself. It's so much easier to think that than the other way around, where, like...
Like, it makes more sense to me, actually, that Alvin, maybe when he was a kid, or Garrison, either one, actually were in the Dark World when they were kids, and then wrote about and then either Alvin told them about his experience or Garrison wrote down his experiences as fiction, rather than the reverse.
That would be
and then something happened to reconnect all these dark worlds to the light world again, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the fountains are just the connection needed to connect the two worlds. But yeah, I think that the dark worlds exist. We just cannot access them until a dark world is made, and that's such a much more simple, concise, easy to understand theory than they didn't exist at all, and then you stabbed the ground and invented history to trick you.
I mean, also the fact with like connections, which is also a very big theme, especially with like the beginning of chapter 1, with it being a connection is made. So I do think that it makes more sense thematically even that they existed and you are just making a connection to them.
Yeah. I also just realized this, but like it is antithetical to the themes of control if the Darkners have no say in their own reality and were just instantly made up and their histories are instantly fabricated when a Dark World is made. That gives them no agency. It removes all choices that they may have ever made from them, and it is antithetical to the themes of control and puppeteering and stuff in Deltarune for this theory to be true.
Yeah. Also, just on the hypothetical that it is true, which I don't think, but then you have to think about, okay, well, if the Dark Worlds just pop into existence with a false history, then why can't the Light World be the same? The Light World has a false history, and it just started existing as soon as you boot up Deltarune.
Yeah, that's okay.
The other side of it.
Yeah, like that's actually a fun fact about this is actually literally related to okay, so I have psychosis and delusions, and one of my delusions is, what if the world didn't exist until you were born, and when you were born, the history was automatically invented for it to trick you? It's literally a psychotic delusion, and I can say this as someone with psychosis.
It's an old philosophy thing called last Tuesdayism. Basically, that the world was created last Tuesday with fake history intact. So people have applied this to like the real world, and I don't think there's much seriousness taken in the idea of last Tuesdayism.
Well, solipsism is taken most seriously by people who don't want to be held accountable for their actions.
Yep.
For everybody else, it's an interesting thought experiment at best.
Yeah. So I personally, I don't agree with the theory. I think it's very weak. I think it just like it persists solely on the idea that it exists and not actually real evidence to suggest it exists.
Mm.
Yeah. In either way, it doesn't seem like there would be much point to it existing that way.
Yeah. It's narratively exactly the same to as if it had always had like people existing in their own histories corresponding with our own at the same time. So narratively, it makes no sense for it to have just happened, you know?
I did kind of throw in like a throwaway reference to that theory in one of my fan fiction things where the shadow with nothing casting it is trying to give one of the characters a brain tumor by talking about cosmology and mentions, if you accept the Big Bang Theory premise as valid, but you don't hold that it's the start of linear time at the very beginning, what if it explodes in the center and expands outward towards the past and the future and creates history as well as, the future as it goes, history and destiny. And of course, that was specifically to give the character and at least some of the readers a headache to demonstrate just how weird the cosmology of the world is in that fanfic.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. On that note, I think we're gonna wrap things up here because we're going for 2.5 hours. Jeez, I did not expect us to go that long.
Lots to say about Spamton.
How do we do it? Volume.
Yeah. Anyways, first of all, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for taking time out to just talk with each other and all that. Thanks for everyone in the chat for coming, and as what we're gonna be the Determined Podcast next project is, we got a special spooky episode because we've never done a Halloween episode, which is weird. But we're gonna do a spooky episode. We're gonna be talking about the spookiest area of the game, which is the lab.
Yes, the true lab.
Join the fun.
Yes.
I can't wait to talk to you for 30
Gonna
minutes.
be talking about Alphys's sins or whatever. Gonna be talking about.
I can't wait to talk to you for 30 minutes straight about the memory heads and what they mean.
I'm gonna talk about Flowey's angst and all sorts of stuff like that. It's just so much stuff to talk about with that area of the game. So yeah, that's going to be that's going to be on the weekend before Halloween, because Halloween had to be a jerk and be on a freaking Monday this year.
Means all the post-Halloween sales will be on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Garfield's worst nightmare.
So yeah, I hope you all tune in for that. And with that said, have a good night, take care, and stay determined.
Stay determined.
Stay determined.
Bro.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Remember to like, comment, and die.
And hyperlink blocked.
Remember to support our.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hyperlink block.
Remember to support our Patreon with all the chroma that you can. And we'll see you all next.